Hey Liz, so I wanted to finally shoot a video for how the rest of my semester went. I actually did shoot a video, but I did not post it because I did not like the angle that the camera was looking at. It was not very flattering. So I'm going to shoot another video for you guys. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long. Things got really hectic after school was done, but just a quick recap. So you guys know on my second test, I didn't do well. I got a 72, and I was like heartbroken. And then on my third test, I got an 82. My fourth test, I got an 84. And then on my final, I got an 83. Yeah. So my final grade was an 81, which isn't great as compared to what it was last semester. But this semester was pretty intense, and I had a hard time figuring out what my learning style was for this semester, and I thought that the learning style that I mastered second semester was going to help, but it didn't, and I needed to toss out the techniques I was using because, you know, if it's not working for me and I'm not getting the grades that I should be getting, then I need to switch something up, which is what I did. So the first thing I did is I stopped typing up all my notes. I just pretty much read, and then in class I would take the PowerPoints that they provided for us, and then I would elaborate on the PowerPoint that they gave us. But that was it. I didn't type up all those pages and everything like that. I found that to be a waste of time as far as the semester went, and I just thought that there had to be a better way for me to learn it, because pretty much where I was getting caught up was second semester was really content focused, like you just had to know the material, whereas third semester more focused on critical thinking. And when I learn from a textbook, I just read the facts and I make sure I understand the facts, but I wasn't extrapolating the information and then using it like to further my knowledge in other areas. So I was having a hard time connecting the dots between the two, and I was not testing well. I knew the material, but as far as what the test wanted and how my thinking should have been, I was thinking very concrete based off of the material that was given, and I wasn't using critical thinking to think, like, what are they really asking here? What do they really want? So once I threw out my study guide, I could no longer focus on just the content. I had to make sure that I was understanding what the teachers really expected us to know in the critical thinking. So I think that once you figure out what they expect from you for each semester, if it's going to be content based, then definitely do the study guide. But if it's going to be more critical thinking, then you need to figure out what is the best way for you to understand the information. So for me, like for instance, we had to do cardiac, so we had to know EKGs, we had to know what medications you would give for certain dysrhythmias. And reading was okay, but it was just so much information. So what worked best for me is I actually drew a lot of my pictures out, and after each rhythm strip I would write what medication it was. So if the patient had SVT, then you know you would give the patient adenosine. I don't know. But so pretty much what I'm saying is that figure out what works for you. If you get one bad test grade, make sure that you're improving your learning style. Make sure you're doing something to make sure that it reflects on your next exam. If you get too bad, completely toss out what you're doing and go for a completely different way, because you don't want to keep trying to hold on to what you're comfortable with, because that can end up being your failure. And my first test I got an 84. I didn't change my learning style. I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to study more. Second test, I studied more, and I didn't change my learning style, and I got the 72. So after that, I had to throw it out and start a new way, and then I got the 82, the 84, and then my final grade of an 83. My grades weren't where I wanted them to be, but more importantly, they were okay grades. For me, it was this, I was so used to the way in which they were teaching last semester that I had a hard time figuring out what they needed for this semester. And my teachers kept telling me that they said, Charlene, you're reading too much. You're reading too much into the question. You're reading too much in the textbook. You're focusing on things that are not important. So by just going off of the PowerPoints, I was only able to focus on what was given, and I wasn't focusing on things that weren't even gonna be tested. So that was pretty much it for the semester. I didn't really use anything new. I didn't do extra resource books. I focused on pretty much what they gave us, because it was now becoming critical thinking. And I did not do as many test questions as far as NCLEX questions as I did before, because I found that it was not really helping me. What I did was using like the NCLEX Saunders, a comprehensive review, and I read over all the material and to make sure that I was picking up all the extra information that I may have missed in like a textbook. but I didn't do loads of questions like I did before. Like for last semester, every exam I would do maybe 3 or 4 different resource books and do NCLEX questions for each of those. Whereas this time I stayed to Lippincott. They have a comprehensive review, and I actually really like that one. I like it mainly because each section or each chapter breaks down like what the question. So if you have like a heart failure, or if you have left-sided heart failure or something like that, whatever, they break down the questions in there, so you're able to focus on what you want to what you're being tested on. So I thought that was great. I didn't really use any other resource books. I did get a HESI book because at the end of next semester we will have to take our HESI exit, and I did get that book. I haven't really looked through it too much, so I'll make a video on that later for you guys once I actually look through it, and I'll give you guys my opinion on it. But nothing else is really new. After I finished school, I started working full-time again, so now I'm back to 5 days a week, and it's really hectic because my job is about an hour away. So I work 8 hours, and then I have a 2-hour drive, so it can be pretty exhausting. So every time that I meant to make a video, I was like, oh, I'll do it today, oh, I'll do it later on today, or I'll do it tomorrow, and then I wasn't getting to it. So I'm so sorry. I was really trying to stay on it, and then, you know, before I knew it was Christmas. So for everyone, happy Christmas. Oh, excuse me, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And then it was my birthday, which was December 30th, and today I actually celebrated it with a dinner with my friends, and I had a great birthday. And, you know, now it's New Year's, so happy New Year's, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying it. I hope you guys did well in your semester, and good luck coming up on the new semester. I will definitely do a video before I go into it, because we're going to find out where our clinical placement is going to be. We have to do 6 12-hour shifts, and we find that stuff out later, and then what days I'll be working and what days I'll have school. So I'll update on you guys on all of that. But I want to thank everyone for asking me how I was doing and checking in on me, and for all my new subscribers. I will try to post more often, because that's what I should be doing. I'm sorry about that. But thank you very much, and Happy New Year. Love you guys. Bye.